So you guys were one. I'm hearing a lot of you guys. You guys wanted a theme song shortened, so here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Sometimes she plays them. So does that. And when she does it with the cat, does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. So it's shorter. There you go. Crazycatlady or Martha Butler does not own any trailers or pictures. I use them under fair use, educational, for education and entertainment purpose.
Well, hey everybody, it's me, Shane Kippel, spinner from Degrassi. I know, yes, I'm aging like a fine wine. Don't stop with the compliments. I can't take all of that. I'm blushing. I'm blushing. Right here though, I'm here for a different reason. Make sure you subscribe to Crazy Cat Lady's channel, so you could see, lots of Degrassi type content. Okay, and you might hear some stories. You might get some different takes, like this take right now.
Well, I was wrong about that season. I have not seen all of these episodes. If I have, they've been buried deep in my mind. Because some of them I do not remember how some of these episodes would end. Um, so, and I know like least about these characters, names and stuff like that. And definitely since this is the season where only Peter is the last character I know very well. Got names of characters right here in front of me, just in case I say their names wrong. So, yep. So who should I start off with first? Let's just go in order of the picture of people I see on there. If I see a name that didn't really have a storyline, it's because they're mainly background characters during this season, and that sucks for those characters last actor. So let me see which characters actually have actual stories during this season. So first on the list is Fiona. Um, she has to deal with learning that she's a lesbian because she starts liking Holly J. She kisses her. She has to deal with being abused by at her school when or going to their private school, and um, she gets smacked and pushed down the stairs, and her grabs her wrist. So eventually, her brother. First, she makes the bruise way more enhanced, but she shows the bruise on her leg from being pushed down the stairs to Declan, and he believes her when he sees the one on the stairs, since apparently she enhanced the one on for one online. So her mom instantly finds out, and they decided to sue them, and that's right. Her talking about it brings her having alcohol, and probably the way she gets it because she's like, who knows, like 15, or like I don't know. They said they're twins of Declan, but I'm trying to remember. Does she graduate a year after Declan? I'm not sure, but because I might have seen some episodes of season 11. I doubt it. But she ends up she ends up dating Adam, who is transgender, and this shows the reason why I know about the first me learning about that stuff about transgender. Why am I not surprised? Because the first show where they show gay, first time I seen a gay person on there on TV, but I think I already knew what gay was before then. But this is the first time. This is the show that it taught me what transgender is. So, and Adam's new there with his sister, with his brother, um, Drew. Adam ends up like dating Fiona for a while, and when she says like you're best of both worlds to Adam, and Adam's the one that helps Holly J get Fiona to go to rehab, so she starts treating for the alcoholism, and so says to her, "Well, just face it, Fiona. You want a girl because you want." She says you're the best of both worlds. So, and he doesn't want to be treated like a girl. So, Fiona's story is wow. A lot happened to that poor girl. Declan, he doesn't really have any stories of his own this season. It's mostly what like mixed in with Holly J and Fiona. Like Holly J and him end up breaking up. He like tries to make her into a gold digger by giving her basically anything so she can just she doesn't have to work, because Holly J ends up working at a barbecue joint basically, and he tries to make her where she just go out and have fun, pay. Like Holly J ends up stealing money from Fiona so she can go to Yale, and Declan buys her necklaces and starts paying for a bunch of other stuff, and Chadley like accuses her of being a gold digger. So, and Declan comes back afterwards to try to get her to go to like a Yale thing, and ends up making it look like she didn't want to have sex. So he kind of she didn't say it to him, but she basically didn't want to in her mind. But he basically forced it upon her one night, and she wasn't even dating him at the time. She was kind of not dating Seb. Their relationship's weird. So, and I never really imagined those two dating. So, and I think that's basically it for those two. That's basically what happens to him with Holly. Oh yeah, Holly J gets up getting sick. She has like something wrong with her kidneys. She like overworks her body. Basically, she does like all these things for like helping the mayor of town run for office again with Chadney, and she ends up like pretty much doing too much for her body, and it's making her sick. So, and Seb ends up dating her. Him and Anya break up for the one last time, I guess, because Anya and him were making on the couch, and his mom walked in after Seb was running for president, and he actually wins against Holly J, and they were pretending to be pregnant, him and Anya, about the baby that they almost ended up having. They didn't take the pill. So since they didn't use protection, and he, like I say, he dates Holly J, and like not much happens to him during this season, except for that much. And Allie, what didn't happen to her this season? She ends up dating Drew, and Drew ends up cheating on her with Bianca, and by going to the boiler room, and Owen, I think that's his name is not on here, ends up like paying her $50 during the gambling night that they have. To try to make it try to pay for him to cheat on Seb, cheat on Drew, and she and poor Mr. Simpson, he has to deal with all this stuff happened to him on his first year being the principal. You have to feel sorry for the poor guy. Okay? I feel so sorry for him. Like, none of these kids want to behave at all, and he has to deal with all this happen to him. Have metal detectors come, and kid bring a knife to school. Kids make out during it, and then they get charged with uniforms. So, and then they have to deal with Drew and Adam's mom, who is like the one of the worst ladies. So, but she's just basically just trying to be a mom, a good mom to these kids. But I don't think she's doing the great job because he's just basically taking it all on Mr. Simpson. It's not his fault that her kids are not behaving. So, and Allie ends up also having to runs away after she gets accused of smoking because she gets transferred for girls school for probably a week or less, really, because she ends up leaving Degrassi for a little while because she does, and because her parents ended up finding out all the stuff she did in the past because they asked to see her file when she got in trouble for starting a fight with Bianca, and so they end up sending to her, and they see one of her friends give her the cigarette, and she would not lie. She was saying, "I did not have. This is not my cigarette." She tries to point it to that's her cigarette, and they don't believe her because she has done so many things wrong lately. They don't know what's true, and they don't trust her judgment. Then Seb ends up saying something very mean to her, like saying, "Ever since you came to the school, it's been like non-stop misbehaving," and she feels like she can't trust nobody is like being on her side and stuff like that. So she ends up like running away and going to see her ex-boyfriend Johnny while he's at school. While he's in college and has his own dorm and stays in the dorm. And I don't know how how does the school not know about, the college not know about this? Is don't they have people guarding the doors? Huh? You got a girl in the apartment, somebody would find out. So they had a bunch of missing signs, and she ends up getting her purse stolen because she acts as a homeless guy or something like that. How to be homeless because she was going to go to Toronto. So he just basically steals her bag. And so she ends up going home and is telling him, "I'm a kid. I make mistakes. It's part of life." So, and it basically gets both their parents to back off and lets them lead their own life. I mean, even Seb gets an okay to date Holly J right when she wants to break up with him because they're too different. And, so I guess they finally got convinced not to have, where he doesn't have to marry, Farah, where that girl's name was he's supposed to marry. So I think and so we got the three mixed together here: Adam, Eli, and Claire. A lot of these things happen to all three of them. Eli is Claire's boyfriend for this season, and all of them have to do with a guy named Fitz, whose name's not on here. The only reason I know that one is it's my dog's name. So, and he's basically the new school's bully, and he tears up Eli's car, and starts and froze Adam once everybody finds out that's transgender because he starts hitting on Bianca, and then Bianca feels like the boobs that feels the boobs between his shirt and reveals them, and they see the pad that he has. So and yep. Um, so eventually it gets so out of where Fitz brings a knife to school and almost stabs Eli. And so he ends up getting arrested. And Eli is going through a lot of stuff. Like, he is his he had an old girlfriend who died recently, and he's dealing with a lot of grief. And Claire's mixed up with it. Like, he's acting like he's a lot of times he acts like he's over it, but he ends up going to hoarding, like he can't throw anything away. And because she goes inside his room, her and Adam, and finds like you can't see the floor at all because he keeps like all the trash he has, and he ends up having the gun that him and his dad have, and brings it to shoot um, his old girlfriend's picture because he's blaming over the fact all the stuff that he's been doing because he crashes his hearse that he drives around that he calls Morty at like the end of the season and almost dies. And basically he's just smothering her too much. I mean, the relationships first starts out pretty good, but then it just gets worse and worse for Claire. So, like, she starts dressing like a freaking goth girl. Like, I would never think that she would wear a skirt like that in this season. So, and man, I always relate to, like, out of all these new characters, that Claire's always the one I relate to most, because I understand somebody who has to go for a lot of stuff that she does. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. So, and Chard, I'm trying to think of the Chard because she's next on the list. And Claire, Claire also gets hit on by Fitz. Fitz wants her to break up with Eli and date him instead. Fitz tries to get her to have sex with him, but he says not unless you want to, basically. So that's why it's with her. And Chardonnay never does any story that's particularly hers. Sadly, she's a lot like Hazel. Like, she rarely gets a story that's about her. So, sorry about that one. Drew. Let me see. The mushroom episode. When he starts dating Bianca after Anya leaves, he goes to date her and tries to resist her at first, but he can't help it. And he ends up taking mushrooms and acting really high during the basketball game, and making Dave and KC really mad at him and his mom. So, and I think I already covered the other thing that happens with him and Allie. So, Jenny and CT end up getting themselves and having a baby, basically, during this season. She gets pregnant, like, during the summer, because by the time we find out that she's pregnant, she's only 5 months pregnant. So, she thinks she's getting fat. She starts taking diet pills, and makes her fart when she's being picked up in a pyramid. But no, she's just getting pregnant, and she's just ignoring every symptoms. Eventually, her and Allie go and Allie helps her take a pregnancy test, and she finds out she is pregnant. First, Casey does not want to be involved at all, because when he finds out his mom comes and sees him at the group home, asking to be a mom, and she doesn't want to, and he doesn't want her in his life eventually, because how many times she's been in trouble. He just wants to have a normal life. So he tries to make it look like she's still drinking and stuff like that by looking for problems. And eventually she backs off, but then he lets her give her a chance to live with her. And so he doesn't want to be a dad because he doesn't want to he wants to have a normal life, and becoming a dad at 15 is not normal. So at first he doesn't try to help her, but eventually he does go to help her, and so does his mom by being a good grandma. And Jenny tries to go and do basically their version of America's Got Talent slash American Idol, but she doesn't. She makes it to the top 8 or something like that, but she doesn't. So she doesn't win. But she tries her best and tries to tell the world that she's pregnant to be able to vote for her, but it doesn't always work. So, yep. And Riley tries to to convince his mom that he's gay. Zaz? His name's not on here. I think it's Zaz. Ends up trying to. They're both dating. They both try for football. Riley hazes Drew because he's afraid that Drew takes his spot at captain and gets suspended for the first 5 games because of it. And basically everybody in the school now knows that he's gay, but he went out. At first he was trying to hide it from everybody, but he starts to come open to it. And he gets sponsored to go to a special college, and who would be perfectly fine. He gets a little bit scared because he thinks he might get death threats if he comes out at the college. So, yep. What else is new on this show? And Anya, she gets a crush on the doctor who's treating her mom for cancer, and starts pretending that she's 20 when she's 17 to lie to him because he gets the wrong idea. Because when Riley starts hanging out with her at the doctor's office to see if and they ask questions and stuff about college life and pretending to be they're in university. He gets the wrong idea, and she goes on 2 dates with him. Her mom finds out, and right when they're about to go to a restaurant festival in a different country or something like that, her mom makes her tell him the truth. And she has to wait now 2 months for she to actually be able to date him because she's not old enough to date a 25-year-old. And when you're 18, I don't think you're really old enough to date that old either. So yeah. And Bianca, she's just basically the new girl who goes around being the bad girl. She ends up getting drunk one night when they go and see a concert. Oh yeah, Seb ends up borrowing his dad's car and driving Eli, Adam, and her to a concert that has Hamilton's music playing in it. So, yep. And Wesley and Dave and Connor sadly doesn't have any stories this season. A lot of it's mostly Dave and Wesley getting their own stories. Like Wesley, he tries to get Anya to like him, but um, Anya doesn't like Anya. Anya's just mostly being nice, but nope, he's not her type. He ends up like having a wet dream in school. He tries to break the most pogo stick record and getting a girl I think named Hannah to notice him, and Dave ends up getting a girl who's apparently taller than him, um, mad at him because he calls her a giraffe. So this season's fine. I think that's all the characters' names, and Owen's basically just um, Owen's hitting on Anya during the school CPR test, and I guess for on the class, and like nobody in the school likes him. That's a girl. So, and like I said, poor Mr. Simpson, he has to deal with all this happening during his first year as principal, and they had to have uniforms, metal detectors. That's what happens when you bring a knife to school, and almost bring a gun to school. So, yep. Can't wait for season 11, so I can tell you talked about that. So, see you guys later. Like, favorite, and subscribe. And remember, Degrassi. Whatever it takes. Bye-bye. I forgot that, like I usually do, I always forget one story. Um, Connor does have something happen to him during this season. Really only one story happens to him that's just his. Is very similar to Emma, except for it's different under different circumstances. But if for people who don't know, I seriously doubt nobody knows M and O's are who's watching this. Which is or online games, and the game that I think that he is into is more like Warcraft. I mean, I never played that game, and the MMO I played is Wizard 101, and I don't like the fact that I know they're out there, which is why Wizard 101 has so many different rules on there where you can type in your chat and stuff like that. So this doesn't happen to kids, but on that game, but people still probably found the way around it. I just don't like it because it makes old people who are my age, who likes that stuff, still look bad to go play in there. Not all of us want to hurt kids. Some of us want to play games, okay? As well. And Connor goes and finds an older woman he's talking to online, and the older woman, they both meet each other a couple times at they can buy the game, and at the store one time, I mean at the dot, and Dave and West both find out about it and don't like it at all. And eventually they tell Mr. Simpson, and Mr. Simpson tries to get him out of there until and Connor is not seeing any problem with it. He just wants to play the game. And eventually the woman makes a move on him by touching his leg. And this is when he catches on to him not to talk to her anymore. And he tells Mr. Simpson the license plates number of her car because he has a really good memory. So, yeah, it's fine. I really hope not everybody thinks that everybody who is an adult who plays those games is like that. So, yeah. I don't play it anymore because eventually I get sick of these games, and those games go on forever. So, I like the one I played, but I don't really play them that much because I like games to end eventually. So, yep. Anyway, so that's basically it on that part. So, like, favorite, subscribe, and bye bye.